What is going on, guys? Money Webby here, back again on Tuesday. I got a 3-game slate here tonight. Definitely not an exciting one. There's not like a ton of good picks to go through, honestly. It is a little bit limited on this slate, but still, I got my 6 favorite plays, my money 6 of tonight. Yesterday, we had some tough luck with 2 guys specifically. Derrick Rose just shot terrible, 4 out of 16. If you could have just shot a little bit better, then he would have been on par than what I was hoping for. I mean, 16 shots, you can't complain about that, but just didn't have the efficiency at all that he's been showing all year long. Then we had some extremely frustrating stuff with Jokic. He got in foul trouble in the first quarter, 2 fouls in like 6 minutes or so, and then didn't really come back until later in the second quarter, so only had like 12 minutes in the first half. And was struggling with the shot as well somehow against the Kings. He was like shooting a lot of jump shots, which I wasn't really looking for. I mean, he can hit those mid-ranges, but I was looking for some more action down low against the likes of Dedmon and the rest of the Kings. And he only ended up with 28 minutes because of that foul trouble, and he shot 4 out of 15. So, I mean, Jokic had one of his worst games that I could remember in recent memory. The foul trouble on top of that. So that really sucked. And also D Rose really shooting himself out of the gym. So those 2 guys weren't doing me any favors. And also Marquise Chris, I did have him as my value play, assuming that he was going to start. But obviously, as news came out around 6:30, he didn't get the start. I wasn't able to update that. I honestly forgot to tweet out the update to that. I saw the news and forgot to tweet an update to that pick. I did tweet it around 7:10 to pivot to Okafor. Okafor as well didn't see that many minutes, only like 15 or so. He got in some foul trouble, and then they decided to go to the bench. So all in all, a pretty frustrating night, but hopefully we can have some better success here tonight. So drop a like in the video if you're excited for this slate, ready to win some money. Let's see if we can get over 100 likes on this one. Again, I apologize for those shitty plays yesterday, D Rose, Jokic, and if you did run out Chris, I apologize. Maybe I should have said, I just figured that they were going to start Chris in that spot, but if you ran him out there expecting him to still score points, I apologize for that. But let's hop right into it. First guy up, I'm going to go with Anthony Davis here, 10,300. The Grizzlies have one of the worst defensive ratings on the slate. Not very good defensively. They played a very fast pace, so a pace uptick for a guy like Anthony Davis can definitely do him some favors. Grizzlies have allowed a good amount of points in the paint as well. That's where Anthony Davis can make a lot of his points happen just in the paint, and some dunks and some easy layups and stuff like that. He's coming off a game where he's starting to get that usage. LeBron's starting to look his way a little bit more. Then they're starting to get that rhythm going at 29-14. What you're looking for in just 32 minutes as well. The game did turn into kind of a blowout, I believe. I'm not sure exactly the game flow to that game, but I was kind of assuming that's what happened just looking at this. But I think he should get a few more minutes, maybe closer to 35 against the Grizzlies here. And I'm expecting a big game out of him. Like I said, one of the best matchups on the slate, just offense versus defense-wise. I think the Lakers will have some success in this game. And like I mentioned, the Grizzlies playing at a very fast pace, which definitely helps fantasy scoring. So at 10,300, I think Anthony Davis has that big-time upside again. He's really been filling it up recently with the blocks, the steals, the rebounds in the last game. If he can just put together one full game where he gets those rebounds, he gets those defensive stats, and I think he'll be able to score very well in this game. I think he can give us around 60 DraftKings points plus in this game. So I'm going to go ahead and lock him in there as my first guy. Then I'm going to go with Ice Trey at 9,000 here. I've been playing very well. A little bit of a down game last night, but I was expecting that. I mean, Philadelphia has a very solid defense, and I didn't expect Trae Young to consistently get that amount of points and get that. I mean, the assists were still there, but a few less rebounds, which is kind of, you would assume going forward that he wouldn't be able to get 7 rebounds a game as kind of a smaller point guard, but still wasn't too bad. I mean, 41 DraftKings points, not that bad considering the matchup, but this matchup's a little bit better here going against Miami, another team that's been playing at a very fast pace, and I think Trae Young in a fast-paced environment like this, a worse defense, and he should get possibly an extra few minutes as they do have rest tomorrow. It is a back-to-back. Typically, we can see teams kind of limit the minutes on the first leg of the back-to-back and give them his normal amount of minutes. I mean, he was getting 36 and 37 in those first 2 games. So maybe we see him a little bit closer to 36 here. hopefully. And the assist ratio has been very good with all these pieces around Trae Young. It definitely feeds him into getting those assists consistently. I'm not assuming that those are going to go down, so I'm happy to see those again. I think I'll be able to score a little bit better here in this game, shoot a little bit better from the field compared to 35%, and it's a good spot for him. So at 9,000, I'm going to go ahead and lock him in there as my second guy. Then I want to go with Jimmy Buckets, finally making his debut, at least likely making his debut. It's not written in stone yet, but I'm expecting him to play here in this game. And the Miami Heat, they brought him over to be that alpha on the team. And I think he's going to be exactly that here, starting here tonight in a good matchup against the Atlanta Hawks. Like I said, it should be a fairly fast-paced game, should stay close, should be fairly high scoring. And Jimmy Buckets, I think, is going to be that main focal point of the offense. He typically can fill it up in every category with rebounds, assists, and points. And like I mentioned, as a focal point, he hasn't been a focal point in the offense really since he was on the Bulls. On the T-Wolves, him and Cat were kind of like 1A, or maybe Cat more the one guy, and then Butler kind of the second option there. And then when he went to the 76ers, he was really like the third option, or maybe even the fourth option to Tobias Harris some nights. So that wasn't really great situations for him. So we haven't seen that from him in a while. So I think people might be a little bit timid to attack him on the first game that he is a Miami Heat player. But I just feel like he's going to be really a big part of this offense, and going to be putting up a lot of shots on a nightly basis. So in this matchup against the Hawks, they aren't a back-to-back like I mentioned. Maybe their defense a little bit lackluster in that regard. So I think he's going to have a big game. And at 7,700, it seems a little bit cheap. I expected them to be more in the $8,000 range. So I'm going to go ahead and lock him in there as my third guy. Then I'm going to go with Jay Crowder. This is where it really gets ugly. This mid-range is just gross. There's no one that has great upside, honestly, on the slate. Like, a lot of these teams are top-heavy with their talent on their team. Like, if you just look through, like a Miami outside of with Jimmy Butler back in the lineup really kills all the value of the rest of the players, and because the rest of the players were priced up without Jimmy Butler if he didn't play. Then the Atlanta Hawks have Trae Young, John Collins. The rest of the guys haven't been doing much. Kind of just been chipping in. Like if you look at the Mavericks, more Luka and Porzingis. The rest of the players not doing much. Nuggets, Jokic is really the only one that's doing something in that team, fantasy-wise. And, so it's just a lot of gross options outside of the top players. Like the Lakers, a very top-heavy team. The Grizzlies, pretty top-heavy with Morant and Jaren Jackson. But Jay Crowder is a guy that has been getting the minutes. I mean, 38 minutes last time out. It was in overtime, but still 33 minutes before it went to OT. He did hit that three to see. Wait, did it go to OT? Yeah, I think it did. Yeah, it went to OT, actually. Sometimes I kind of get confused. I was confused how he only had 3 points, I guess, going into overtime. So that kind of confused me. But still, he did fill it up in other categories. 7 rebounds, 5 assists, 2 blocks, a steal, and 28 draft game points. So pretty much I'm attacking Jade Crowder just because he's been one of the most consistent minutes guy on the slate, getting 30, 31, and then 33 minutes before it went to OT in that game. And against the Lakers, they do run out a lot of like wing players, so I think Jay Crowder is definitely needed on the court for this Grizzlies team in this matchup. You know, they're going to need his offense to step up here in this game, as the Lakers, I think, are definitely going to be able to score at will in this matchup. So the Grizzlies will be fighting from behind. I think Jay Crowder has earned some extra shots, maybe with that 3 he hit in the overtime to seal that game as their first one of the season. So I think they'll rally behind him, hopefully. And at 5,200, the consistent minutes and the ability, he's been showing the ability to at least get some consistent rebounds and be able to get, he is a guy that can get some blocks and steals. So I'm going to go ahead and lock him in there as my fourth guy. And for my fifth guy, I'm going to go with Gary Harris, another guy that we're just looking at the consistency of the minutes, and he does have that upside. He has been a player that over the last few years that has been really up and down as he doesn't fill it up in multiple categories. But just based on this matchup against the Dallas Mavericks, another weaker defense on the slate, they did allow, I think, like 40 points to CJ McCollum the other night at shooting guard. So if McCollum is able to go off like that, then I think Gary Harris might be able to see some kind of weakness in their defense as a shooting guard himself. And they need someone to step up on this Nuggets offense. Their offense has been a little bit struggling this year. And I think he can step up in this game. He had a pretty solid night last night, 17 points in just 29 minutes, 28 DraftKings points. So hopefully he can build up on that and see an extra few minutes back to his normal 34 to 35 minutes in this game. So I'm going to go ahead and lock him in there as my final guy. Definitely, or not my final guy, definitely a risky one though. As like I said, his floor isn't that great, but I think he can provide a nice ceiling at 4,800, considering the rest of these options on the slate, which are very uninspiring. And for my sixth guy, I'm going to go with Fernando. I'm going to get a little bit risky here, as we need to pay for some value. I mean, the mid-range, like I said, is just so gross, and I want to pay it for the top end, where I'm going to throw out a flyer there, a few flyers at around 3,200, 3,300. Maybe one of them can return some value. I think Fernando has one of the best kind of outlooks trending up if you look at his recent trajectory, considering like Alex Len hasn't been playing well, not playing too many minutes, and Fernando has been chipping in very well. I love this guy in college out of Maryland, and the March Madness tournament. He looked very good. Kind of one of those bigger guys that can fit in today's NBA, as he does have a solid jump shot. We've seen that so far this year. Hit a 3 last night, hit a 3 in his opening game, and it's very good, especially for a Hawks team that is looking to spread it out, kind of be that new age Warriors team almost. Like they're kind of like building their team like the Warriors did. It's getting a lot of 3-point shooters, with some defensive players mixed in there, with like Hunter, who's a solid 3-point shooter, but he can play some defense, and also John Collins, who can hit the threes and kind of be that Draymond Green kind of player, where he's not nearly the same passer, but kind of that active guy around the rim. And Fernando can be a guy, a nice little sprinkle-in option that can spread the court and also be a beast down low if needed to be. So 3,200, I think it's a matter of time. I think he should take over Alex Len, honestly, as the starting center eventually. And with just how well he's been playing recently, hopefully he can get a few more minutes here tonight, maybe closer to 20, and he can get that extra value off the bench, as he has a better matchup off the bench anyways compared to Alex Len in the starting lineup. So he should be able to put in some more work there. Now 3,200, like I said, solid value, save some money for the top end guys. So I'm going to go ahead and lock him in there as my final guy. And like always, if there is any updates on these plays, I will tweet out. I apologize yesterday for not able to tweet out. I mean, it didn't really affect it anyways. Jahlil Okafor didn't do that much, but at least he was better than Marquise Chris. We'll try to tweet out. There's less news on the slate anyways. Like, there's not many guys that really would affect the slate if they're in or out. I guess it would only change if there's like some weird news where someone scratched or anything like that. But definitely keep an eye on Jimmy Butler's news. I will tweet out, obviously, if he is not playing, to pivot to someone else. But good luck here tonight. Hope you guys won some money. Drop a like in the video if you enjoyed it. Over 100 likes is the goal. Thank you if we can hit that. And also hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on any more NBA DFS picks. Good luck. We'll see you back here again next time.